Hi, welcome to Open Door Yoga. My name is Michelle, and this video is a 60-minute yoga sequence or yoga class that's focused on balance. You may want to consider having a few props with you, depending on where you're at in your practice. We will be doing some balancing postures where we're hinged at the hips. So I have a low support surface here in the form of yoga blocks. You're welcome to use yoga blocks at home, but if you don't have them, no worries. You could position your mat in front of a low coffee table or even the seat of a sturdy chair. We will also be doing some balancing work standing. So if you'd like to have a prop or supportive prop with you when we're totally upright, you could position yourself close to a wall. Or if that chair that you're using for your low lift has a backrest, you could just flip it around. As long as you can bear weight into that backrest, and it's going to be really sturdy for you. The only other prop you may want to consider is more of a comfort option prop, and it is the prop that's currently being owned by my cat Rooster. I have a yoga blanket, but any household blanket or towel would do. We mostly be using this prop in the beginning here as we start in seated for a lift. And it's also nice to have at the end of practice if you want a little bit of a cushion or pillow for your head when we're lying down on our back body. So let's get started in seated. Rooster, you can keep my lift. I will just sit here on the mat. So come to the mat or to a lift if you have one available to you. And from here, let's stack our shoulders over our hips, ears over our shoulders. Feel a little bit of engagement here in your low belly to support your low back. And begin to relax those shoulders down away from your ears. You could take a little extra movement here to kind of help them get settled down. And then what we're going to do is either close down or lower our gaze. Bring awareness to your breath. Maybe allow your inhales and exhales to get a little bit longer, to get a little fuller. And if you notice your breathing is up here in your chest alone, I invite you to bring your hands to your low ribs. Maybe consider trying to fill your ribs from the bottom up. So really see if you can send your breath all the way down. Feel this expansion in your low ribs. And then begin to fill your chest, feeling it rise and expand. And if that's the case, we're going to press our breath out from the bottom up as well. So send that breath out from the bottom all the way up to the top so that we release all of our breath to make room for new energy, new breath. Yoga quite literally means union. Union of the mind, the body, the soul, the joining of all of those different layers and sheaths that comprise our body. And that's a lot to take on. But maybe today we practice by just trying to join our breath with our physical body or our movement. A lot of times in Hatha yoga classes, like this one, our body begins to fatigue, and it's very easy to let our movement begin to control our breath. So maybe this is a challenge for you today to keep your awareness on your breath and that intention that your breath can guide our movement instead. Take one more full breath exchange here. Really allow this transition to happen from the busyness of whatever has happened today to your 100% undivided presence in this yoga class. Then release your hands down by your side. Keeping your awareness on your breath, let's move with it. So on your next inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead, palms meet in the center at the very top of your breath. Pause for a moment. And then exhale, send your fingers and your palms down through heart center. pause at the bottom for just a moment. Release those hands. Inhale, rise on up. So flow here. And on your exhales, really allow your palms to press together at the center line of your body, your midline. If it feels good, you can keep a little bit of a lift here in your elbows. That might give you a little bit of a different sensation in your shoulders and even through your wrists. Let's just take one more full breath exchange here. One more inhale to really rise on up. Fingertips reaching up towards the sky, palms to touch. And exhale, really pressing energetically down towards the ground. The bottom of your exhale, release your hands down to your nice comfy seat. And from here, let's begin to work into our side bodies and even our chest and our back a little bit. So as you're ready, we'll plant our left hand down by our left hip. Inhale, sweep your right arm up and overhead. Shoulders slide down away from those ears. And check in with your sitting bones. We want to stay grounded evenly through both sitting bones. So if you're starting to rock on your hip, just press into your left hand, maybe even slide it a little bit closer to your body so that you can stay grounded here. One more full breath exchange. Inhale, rise on up. Release your right hand and then sweep your left hand overhead, feeling this nice stretch in your left side body. Exhale, left hand comes to right knee. Gentle twist here. And on your next breath in, send your right arm up and overhead. We're going to play here with this kind of push and pull that happens in our own body. So send those right fingertips towards the right side wall. But while you're doing that, you're really going to have to engage and press energetically down through your right thigh, through that right hip, to stay grounded. On your next inhale, rise on up. Release that twist. Exhale, hands come back to center. Let's take it to the other side. Let's set our right hand down by our right hip. Inhale, sweep that left arm up and over. Find a nice neutral line in your neck. Maybe on this side, we really bring that awareness back to our breath. On your inhales, really feel that breath filling your left rib cage, that expansion through your whole left side body. Exhale, feel that grounding. Shoulders are still away from our ears. One more full breath exchange. Inhale, rise on up, sweep that right arm up, nice side body stretch opening here. Exhale, gentle twist to the left. Inhale, sweep that left arm up and overhead. Find that balance between that pushing and pulling here. Notice where the sensation shifts in our body when we include this gentle twist. Keep that neck neutral, no extra tension here. Inhale, rise on up, release this twist. Exhale, come back to center. We're going to make our way to hands and knees. So if you were able to use your lift for that beginning piece, let's set it towards the back of the mat. We're not going to use it again until the very end of practice. So it'll be there waiting for us. And then as you make your way slowly onto hands and knees, notice that your elbows are under your wrists. Wrists are under your shoulders, and you can have a slight bend in these elbows. Toes can be tucked or untucked here, but peek back and see that your knees are about under your hip points. On your next inhale, tilt your tailbone up, and as your belly drops, pull your shoulders back to lift your heart space. Gaze lifts as well. This is Bittilasana cow pose. We'll hang out here for one full breath exchange, really feeling this posture settle into our body. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, Round through your spine, press away from the mat, crown drops. Marjarayasana cat pose. Now let's flow. Move with the pace of your breath. Inhales will send you up into cow pose. And your exhale will send you into cat pose. When you're in cow pose, really feel that widening between your collarbones through your chest. And in cat pose, feel that stretch between your shoulder blades. We'll just take one more cow pose, one more cat pose, wherever you are in your gentle cat-cow flow. And then we'll make our way back to our tabletop spine. From here, really feel balance between the left side and right side of your body. So we're not leaning too far to one side or the other. And on your next breath in, we're going to extend our right arm and our left leg long. So one way to keep your balance in a balancing posture is through opposition. So let's practice by pressing energy forward through our right fingertips and then pressing energy back through the sole of our left foot. Full breath in here. And exhale, scoop in your belly to create space as we draw our elbow to our knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Last time, bringing this elbow to our knee. Inhale, extend here, full extension. And exhale, release. Take a moment here in the center. Find that weight balanced again. And then we'll take it to the other side. So on your next inhale, let's send those left fingertips forward, press back through the sole of our right foot. Pause here to find this opposition and check in with your back foot. Notice that our toes are pointed down to the ground, so our hips are neutral. Full breath in. Exhale, scoop your belly, elbow to knee. Inhale, rise. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, rise. Last time here, exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, rise on up, press in opposite directions. And exhale, release. Let's make our way to a quick child's pose. So bring your toe mounds to touch. Split your knees towards the long edges of the mat. Send your weight back over your heels and then hinge at your hips, extending your arms long, releasing your forehead down to the ground. Now, if this is feeling like too much opening through your chest, you could grab your nice folded blanket or towel and place it right here under your forehead. Bring the ground up to you so that this posture can feel the best that it can in your body. As you get settled, maybe we press into our palms energetically to send our hips down and back a little bit more. If it feels good on an inhale, you could even lift your palms off the mat, rising up to your fingertips. On your next inhale, let's walk our body back up. Make your way to hands and knees. And from here, we're going to begin to ground down through all 10 knuckles, through both palms evenly. Tuck your toes if they're not tucked already. And then begin to roll your triceps in towards the midline. And when you do that, you're going to feel this kind of jar opening sensation between your index fingers and your thumbs. From here, let's send our hips back over our heels, extending through our arms, and then pull those upper arm bones back into your shoulder sockets. From here, begin to send your hips up and back. Pedal out your feet as you arrive here in downward facing dog. Let's find a nice long spine. So that wonderful engagement that you just created in your body when we were doing those hands and knees postures, use that core engagement to send your hips up and back a little bit higher. Keep those upper arm bones tucked into your shoulders, so down away from your ears. Ears are lined up with our upper arm bones, so we're relaxed through our neck, long, neutral neck. Maybe we find stillness here, and if your heels are lifted or you have a bend in your knee, no worries. Just keep that nice, long spine. One more full breath exchange. Inhale, gaze up to the space between your hands. Exhale, step, walk, or float your feet to arrive in that space. Forward fold. Generous knee bend here on this first forward fold so that you can really release any tension in your low back. Release any tension that you're feeling in the back of your neck. Maybe shake your head from side to side. Inhale, rise to half lift. So send your thighs back. Find a slight lift in your sitting bones. Crown of your head reaches forward. Shoulders slide down flat on your back body. You can even imagine trying to pull them down towards your hips. Strong core. Take any weight or tension out of that low back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale one more time, rise to half lift. Exhale, keep this long spine. Find a gentle knee bend. And inhale, rise all the way up to extended mountain. Fingertips reach up towards the sky. Exhale, release, mountain pose. Take a moment here to get settled. Find the foot position of your choice. So maybe we bring our toe mounds to touch and V out our heels an inch or two. Or maybe we keep a very similar foot position, but we just bring them a little bit wider, maybe under our hip points, if we're looking for a little bit more balance and stability. From here, find a slight tuck in your tailbone, just to bring that engagement back to our belly. We don't want to lose that at all today. Shoulders keep relaxing down away from your ears, which is going to allow our fingertips, which are zipped together here, to sink further and further towards the ground. Exhale, press down into the soles of your feet as you lift the crown of your head up towards the sky. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Lift your heels, rise up on your toes. If you feel your low ribs starting to flare out here, knit them back in. Full breath exchange here. The bottom of your exhale, release those heels back down. Arms come back down to our side. We're going to do that 2 more times, just warming up our balance here a little bit. On your next inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead, rise up onto those toes. Maybe this time we find a drishti or a gazing point, a non-moving focus point to help us keep our balance. On your next exhale, release your heels down. Fingertips drop as well. This time I want you to notice that subtle shift in our center of gravity or your balance center in your body. Notice where it shifts as you rise up onto your toes. Inhale, sweep your arms up, lift those heels, keep that tailbone slightly tucked. Lower ribs tucked into our body. Full breath exchange here. The bottom of your exhale, release everything down. Take a moment here to get regrounded, recentered. Feel your weight balanced between the big toe mound and the pinky toe mound edges of your feet. And then also grounded down evenly through the center of both of your heels. Our weight's not shifting forward or backward or from side to side. Maybe some subtle sway that naturally happens in standing, but genuinely pretty balanced here. On your next inhale, begin to sweep your arms up as you send your hips down and back into chair pose. Keep grounded through all four corners of your feet, but shift your weight back so it's more over our heels. Peek down so you can see your big toes. We want to keep our knees safe here. Hug your thighs to the midline to help square your hips towards the front of the room. If you're noticing a big sway in your low back, just tuck your tailbone slightly. Find a little bit of opening through your chest. And if it's available to you, maybe consider lifting one or both heels off of the ground. Balance here. And if you fall, no worries. We lose our balance all the time in life. It's all about listening to your body, noticing when we're out of balance without judgment, and trusting that we'll find our way back. One more full breath in. Exhale, release those heels down. Fold at your hips, forward fold. Maybe toe heel your feet into a slightly wider stance. Take a bind at your elbows and come to ragdoll. Gently swaying from side to side. Keep relaxing any tension out of your neck. Find stillness in the center here. Bring your feet back into your mountain pose stance. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise to half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, one more time, rise to half lift. Slide those shoulder blades down towards your hips. Exhale, slight bend in your knees. Inhale with a flat back, rise on up, extend in mountain. Exhale, release into mountain pose. From here, we're gonna make our way into our main standing, balancing sequence, flow, whatever you wanna call it. And we're gonna move very slowly this first time so that we can feel all of the postures really get settled into our body. And I want you to notice when you're in each posture where that center of gravity is in your body, so that when we move a little bit faster, it's easier to keep your balance. It's easier to flow. Find your strong mountain pose. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Extend in mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands. We're going to step back with our left foot into a low lunge for just a moment. Feel stable. And then send your left heel down, pivoting on your back foot about 90 degrees. And so our toes should be pointing towards the long edge of the mat or even slightly in. Warrior 2 feet. Rise on up, warrior 2. Notice that your right knee is stacked over your right ankle. Back leg is strong and straight. Our shoulders are stacked over our hip points. So our tailbone's pointing straight down towards the ground. Shoulders or arms are extended out to a T at shoulder height. We're sending energy through fingertips in opposite directions, and then press down energetically to maybe lift your heart space a little bit here. Take a little bit of weight out of your low back. On your next inhale, begin to straighten through your right leg. And then we're going to send our left hips back as we reach forward with our right fingertips. Extend through both side bodies. And then make your way into triangle pose. So we're stacking our left shoulder over our right, left fingertips up towards the sky. Right hand can stay tucked here on the inside or outside of your right shin. You could bring it to a support surface like a block, or maybe we're reaching them all the way down towards the floor. If that's available in your body, gaze can look past your left fingertips. Or if that's uncomfortable in your neck, Maybe our gaze looks down, kind of past our big toe. Let's take one more full breath in here. Exhale, bend into that front knee. Inhale, rise on up, warrior two. We'll just be here for another moment, building a little bit of heat, grounding down through our right toe mound, pinky edge of our back foot. And on your next exhale, cartwheel your hands down, pivot on your back foot, and we're going to shift our center of gravity or our weight forward just to be able to send our left foot in a few inches and then turn our toes out about 45 degrees. So now we're in warrior one feet. Inhale, rise on up, warrior one. And what you guys can do here is practice shifting your weight back, even if we're extending a little bit into that front leg, just so that you can really feel this strong and straight back leg anchored down through that pinky edge of your left foot. And from here, maybe we stack that right knee over our right ankle. Pull that right hip crease back to square your hips. You could even use your hands to help you here. To shine forwards, hug your thighs to the midline. Slight opening in your chest. And on your next inhale, straighten through that front leg. Exhale, we're gonna fold at our hips to pyramid pose. So in pyramid pose, we're gonna have this nice long spine. We're gonna avoid a ton of rounding here. So if you want to use your support surface or your lift, you're more than welcome to do so. You could also bring your hands down here to your shins or even up here on your thighs, if that's where we're at in our body today. From here, find that opposition by sending your right sitting bone back and reaching your heart space forward. Shoulder blades are still flat on our back body. Nice long neutral neck. Exhale, bend into that front knee. Inhale, rise on up to warrior one. We'll be here for just a full breath exchange. And on your exhale, begin to shift your weight forward so you can pivot on your back foot. Inhale, lift your back leg, extend through your right leg. Warrior three with our arms flying back behind us. 3 full breaths. Notice that your back toe is pointed down towards the earth. Our hips are square. One more full breath in. And on your next inhale, hinge at your hips to rise on up slowly to standing. Release that left foot. Come back to your alignment. And when we think about alignment in yoga, we often think about our physical alignment, what our bones, our muscles, our joints are doing in asanas, or those physical postures. But true alignment is when we can align all of those different layers of our body. So maybe again, we're practicing on aligning our breath with our body. So whether we're in stillness or in movement, we're balanced. So come back to your breath if you lost it there. Let your shoulders sink heavy away from your ears, fingertips piercing down towards the ground. And let's take it to the other side. Inhale, sweep those arms up and overhead, extended mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands, step your right foot back. We're going to start in this low lunge for just a moment, and we're going to pivot on our back foot. So make sure that your left heel is in line with the center of your right arch. Almost like if there was a line going straight down through your yoga mat, your front foot would straddle that line, and the center of your back arch would also be over that line. Inhale, rise on up, warrior two. So take a moment here to get grounded. Peek down, make sure you can see that big toe. Our left knee is just stacked over our left ankle. Our shoulders are stacked over our hips so we can really ground down. Strong and straight back leg. It's our rudder, which is going to help us keep our balance. Arms at shoulder height. If you're noticing a lot of rounding here, you can see from the back. Pull those shoulders down away from your ears. You could even energetically press your palms down to find that lift in your heart space. Gaze is forward. On your next inhale, let's straighten through our left leg. Send your right hip back. Reach forward through your left fingertips. And keeping this lift through your left torso, drop your left arm. Stack your right shoulder, triangle pose. Use your low support surface if you'd like. It can help you keep your balance. If it's available in your body, you could even bring your fingertips down towards the earth. Again, on the inside or the outside of this front leg. Keep that engagement through your back leg. And on your next exhale, bend into the front knee. Inhale, rise on up, warrior two, for just a full breath exchange here. Building a little bit of heat. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down, pivot on your back foot. And then begin to shift that weight forward so you can hold your balance as you step that right foot in just a few inches. And those toes are out at 45 degrees, so almost like they're trying to point towards this top right corner of the mat. Inhale, rise on up, warrior one. Find that balance between grounding down through the pinky edge of your right foot and the toe mound of your left foot. And what we're also going to do is imagine sending energy forward through your left shin while also pulling your left heel back towards the back of the room. When we do that in these standing lunges or standing warrior postures, what we're doing is engaging all of the muscles that are surrounding a joint. And by strengthening opposing muscle groups equally or evenly, we're going to build the most stability we can in our joints, in this instance, the knee. Inhale, straighten through your left leg. Exhale, fold at your hips, pyramid pose. Remember, you can use your low support surface to help you keep your balance for a little bit more comfort in this, what tends to be slightly uncomfortable posture. Gaze is straight down. Nice long back of your neck. If you're noticing your hips are starting to turn open towards the right, really imagine pulling that left thigh bone back into your hip socket. You can reach back with your left hand to feel that your sacrum or your low back is flat. Exhale, bend into that front knee. Inhale, rise on up, warrior one. Again, remember we're shining both of our hip points forwards. On your next exhale, shift that weight forward. Pivot on your back foot so that our hips are really in a line. Our toes are both pointed forwards. And then on our next inhale, lift our back leg, straighten through our right leg. Warrior three. Let's fly here. 3 full breath exchanges. Notice that we're not leaning too far to the left. Find a drishti, find that gazing point on the ground to help you keep your balance. And on your next inhale, hinge at your hips, rise on up, mountain pose. Maybe close down your gaze. Bring that awareness back to your breath. We're going to go through that sequence again, and this time we're going to move a little bit faster. Not quite at the pace of our breath, but a little bit faster. So check in with your body. If you're noticing that your muscles are starting to fatigue, make sure that you have the supportive props that you need to keep your body safe. The reason we're practicing not only standing balancing postures, but also these transitional sequences is because most of the time when we lose our physical balance, when we fall, it's not because we're standing still. It's because our body is in motion. It's in transition. So let's practice here together. Find your strong mountain pose. Slight tuck in your tailbone. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands, step your left foot back, pivot on your back foot. Inhale, rise to warrior two. Take a full breath exchange here. Shoulders over hips, arms out to a T. Inhale, straighten through your right leg. Lean forward. Find your triangle pose. On your next exhale, bend into your right knee. Inhale, rise on up to warrior two. One more full breath exchange. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down, pivot on your back foot. Step it forward to warrior one feet. Inhale, rise on up, warrior one. Square those hips, shoulders down away from your ears, slight opening in your chest. Inhale, straighten through that front leg. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Find that support surface if you'd like. Pyramid pose, nice long neck. Exhale, bend into your right knee. Inhale, rise on up to warrior one. Full breath exchange. On your next exhale, shift your weight forward. Pivot on your back foot. Inhale, rise on up. Warrior three. 3 full breath exchanges here. Find opposition by reaching the crown of your head forwards, pressing energy back through the sole of your left foot. One more full inhale. Full exhale. Inhale, hinge at your hips. Rise on up to mountain pose. We'll be here for 2 full breath exchanges. Inhale, sweep those arms up and overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hand, step your right foot back, pivot on your back foot. Inhale, rise on up to warrior two. Full breath exchange here. Really anchor down through the pinky edge of your right foot. Inhale, extend that front leg, send your weight forward. Find your way to triangle pose. Again, gaze can be lifted or lowered or closed down completely if you really want to test your balance. Exhale, bend into your left knee. Inhale, rise on up. Full breath exchange in warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down. Pivot on that back foot. Send it up to warrior one feet. Inhale, rise. Square those hips, shoulders still down away from our ears. Inhale, straighten through your left leg. Exhale, fold to pyramid. Pull that left thigh bone back into its hip socket. Exhale, fold, or not fold, bend into your left knee. Inhale, rise. Warrior one. Exhale, shift your weight forward, pivot on that back foot. Inhale, rise on up to warrior three. Find your balance here. Right toe is pointed down. Find that gazing point. On your next inhale, slowly hinge at your hips to rise back up. Mountain pose. Take a few breaths here. Shoulder blades flat on your back body. Allow your awareness to come back to your breath. Don't let your movement dictate your breath. Stay anchored to those nice full inhales, nice full exhales, and let them dictate what happens with your body. We're going to move through that flow, that sequence one last time. And on this last time through, I really want you to focus on that center of gravity in your body. Notice as we're fatigued, are we just kind of throwing our body into postures and just hoping that we keep our balance, or putting extra stress on our low back or in our neck? Or can we stay aware of where our balance is and use our core to move our body with stability, with balance? One more full breath exchange here in the center. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead, extended mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Plant those hands, step your left foot back, pivot. Inhale, rise to warrior two. Full breath exchange here. Inhale, straighten through that left leg. Send that center of gravity, that balance forward so we can safely make our way to triangle. Exhale, bend into that front knee. Keep pressing that right thigh back towards the back wall. Inhale, rise on up. On your next exhale, cartwheel your hands down, pivot on your back foot, step it up to warrior one feet. Inhale, rise on up. Square those hips, press energy forward through your shin, pull back through that front heel. Inhale, extend your front leg. Exhale, fold at those hips, pyramid pose. Send those sitting bones back, reach your heart space forward, nice long neck. Exhale, bend into that front knee. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Exhale, send that center of gravity. Use your core to shift forward, pivot on your back foot. And then inhale, begin to sweep your arms back. Extend your left leg long, warrior three. Couple more full breath exchanges. Keep control of your breath the best that you can. On your next full inhale, hinge at your hips, rise on up to mountain pose. 2 full breath exchanges here. Shoulders sink down towards the floor. Tuck in that pelvis to bring that engagement back to your core. We'll need it for this last round. Inhale, sweep those arms up and overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands, step your right foot back. Pivot on that foot. Front heel's in line with your back arch. Inhale, rise on up, warrior two. Build that heat. Inhale, extend your front leg. Send the balance forward, that center of gravity forward. Make your way to triangle pose. On your next exhale, bend into the front knee. Inhale, rise to warrior two. Full breath in here. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down. Pivot on your back foot. Shift your weight forward to find warrior one feet. Inhale, rise on up to warrior one. One full breath exchange here. Inhale, straighten through that left leg. Exhale, fold into pyramid. Nice long spine. Crown of your head's reaching forwards. Sitting bones are reaching back. Exhale, bend into your left knee. Inhale, rise on up. Exhale, send that weight forward. Pivot on your back foot. And as you lift your back leg, straighten through your front leg. Find your balance here. Warrior three. 3 Full breath exchanges. Wobbling is okay. One more full breath exchange. And then inhale, hinge at those hips, rise on up to mountain pose. Close down your gaze for a moment. Come back to your breath. Notice the work that you've done, the heat you've built in your body, the energy that's moving around in your arms and your legs. Notice your nice full inhales and exhales. And then blink open our gaze. We're going to make our way to face the long edge of our mat, and we're going to come into a wide stance. So you can keep your props nearby. You might like to use them in this next sequence, but I'm going to shift them off to the side so you can see me better. Find a nice tall stance here. And so if you'd extend your arms out to the side, your feet can be under your wrists. But if they're out that far and you're noticing that you can't really ground down through the pinky edges of your feet, then step them on in until you feel that stability, that grounding. And then from here, if it's available in your body, bring your palms to touch, fingers interlock behind your back, and then send those knuckles down towards the ground, opening up into your chest. If it feels good, you could even roll those shoulders back here. Full breath in, nice long spine. And exhale, fold at your hips. Allow your arms to move into the position that feels most comfortable in your body. So maybe your knuckles are reaching back towards the back wall. Or maybe it feels better to allow your arms to fall in the direction of your head. Allow your weight to be centered over your arches here. Release through the back of your neck. We'll just take a couple full breaths here. Allow yourself to sink maybe a little bit deeper into this posture on your exhales. One more full breath in. Exhale, release your hands down to the mat. Press into your palms. Inhale, rise to this half lift or tabletop spine. If it's uncomfortable down here, you can bring your support surface so you're up a little bit higher. And as you're ready, we're going to begin to send our hips and our weight over towards the right, bending into your right knee. So we want to keep our knee kind of tracking in line with our toes. So check in here. If this feels like enough sensation, stay right here. If you're looking for a little bit more sensation, what you could do is turn your toes out about 45 degrees. But if you do that, I also want you to press the outside of your right thigh back and notice that your knees are now still tracking over your toes. You could even rock onto your left heel here, lifting your left toes, sink that tailbone down. And then if you'd like, you could play with your balance by maybe bringing your hands to heart center or extending your arms up and overhead. Just take one more full breath in, full breath out where we are. Release those hands if you took a lift and make your way back to center, forward fold. If you'd like to close this posture, maybe your head can reach down to the ground, but if you're anything like me and it's not going to reach, you could use a support surface like your block at any height and use that to help close out your posture. Maybe even just bring your elbows to the ground or to your support surface. One more full breath exchange here in the middle. Press into your palms on your inhale, rise to half lift. And exhale, send your hips over to the left. So again, choose the option that feels best for you. Each side might feel a little bit different as well. So it might mean that you take a different option. If you do want a little bit more intensity and you turn your toes out, just make sure that you find that external rotation in your hip to keep your knee in line with your toes. Maybe rock onto that right heel. Right toes pointed up towards the sky. You could keep your hands planted here or play with your balance. Maybe bring your hands to heart center or lift them overhead. Full breath in, full breath out. Then release those hands down. Make your way back to center. One last time, wide-legged forward fold. Really release any tension in your neck. Weight is still balanced over our arches. Inhale, rise to half lift. Toe heel your feet in until they're either under your center hip points or even your outer hip points. And exhale, forward fold. You could find a bind here. One more breath in. And exhale, plant those hands, bend into your knees, and come to seated. We're going to be here for just a moment because we're going to make our way onto our back body. But take a minute for yourself here in seated. Allow your head to come back over your heart space. We just spent a bit of time in an inversion. So take a cooling breath if you need to. And as you're ready, we will face the front short edge of our mat, soles of our feet down into the earth, knees pointed up towards the sky. And then from here, what we're going to do is slowly lower ourselves down onto the mat. So round through one vertebra at a time until your whole body releases down onto the earth. Grab your lift if you'd like, but if you're bringing this cushion under your head, what I'd like you to do is make sure that you can still ground your shoulder blades down into the earth. And if that's the case, you are good to go. From here, bend into those knees, hug them to your chest. Maybe rock from side to side. Give your low back a little massage through this gentle rocking against the ground. Maybe point through those toes, extend through your ankles, flex through your ankles. Take some ankle rolls if it feels good. From here, plant the soles of your feet down onto the earth. We're going to make our way into a figure 4 stretch. So let's begin to cross our right ankle at the bottom of our left thigh. And check in. If this feels like a lot of sensation in your right outer hip, maybe we stay here and we just play with sending our right knee further and further away from our body. If we're looking for more sensation, we could reach around and grab our left hamstring, pulling our left thigh towards our body. In whichever variation you take, our shoulder blades are flat on the ground and we have a 90-degree at least flexion in our right ankle. So you should see your toes kind of pointed up about 90 degrees from your shin, perpendicular there. That's going to keep our right knee safe. Avoid putting any extra pressure on there. And we're going to keep the sensation in that outer hip, which is where we want to feel it. We'll stay here for a few breaths. If you've taken this lift option, have fun with it. You can point through those toes, take any ankle rolls that feel good. If you're looking for a little bit more stretching through your low back or into your hamstring, maybe you play with extending that left leg and bending into your knee. Or we just hang out here, slowly pulling our left thigh closer and closer towards our chest. One more full breath in. Exhale, release the sole of your left foot down. And what we're going to do is cross our right foot all the way over our left. Arms come up to cactus, shoulder blades rooted into the ground. Consider pressing into the sole of your left foot to shift your hips just a little bit, a couple inches over to the right. And then let your knees fall to the left. We want to make sure that our right shoulder stays anchored down here. So if you're noticing that it's starting to peel off the ground, you could try to send your gaze past your right shoulder And if that's not quite enough, grab another prop. Use your block, maybe grab your stack of blankets and bring it under your knees. Full breaths here. Send your inhales, that new, fresh breath, that energy, to the places in your body where you're feeling the sensation the most. Inhale, rise on up, come out of this twist, realign those hips, and let's take all of that to the other side. So cross your left ankle at the bottom of your right shin or your right thigh. And then from here, find the figure 4 option that feels best in your body. Maybe we're just pressing our knee away from our body, or we're pulling our right thigh towards our chest. Either way, our left knee is flexed and our shoulders are grounded here. If you want to take this lift option, but you're finding that your shoulders are coming up here, you could always grab some type of an extension like a light hand towel or a belt or a yoga strap that could give your arms a little bit of extra length that you could loop around your leg. A couple more breaths here. Full breath in. Exhale, plant the sole of your right foot down. Cross your left leg over your right. Arms come to cactus. And then take that option that feels best in your body. So as you send your hips over to the left, what we'll do is we'll drop our knees towards the right. Grab any props that you need. Maybe consider sending your gaze past your left shoulder to help it stay rooted down. This is a big twist, a big stretch in our back. It should feel good after that rather intense sequence that you did. So we'll take another full breath exchange here. And inhale, rise on up, square those hips. We're gonna make our way into a Savasana. So let's begin to extend our legs long. If it feels good, take one more full body stretch here by pointing through your toes, reaching your fingertips, extending your arms up and over your head. And then exhale, release your arms down by your side, palms face up towards the sky. You can create a little width between your legs here and let your toes fall down to the sides. We're going to send our breath from our feet all the way up, allowing each part of our body to relax. So as you intentionally move your breath up through your legs, relax through those inner linings of your legs, your thighs. As your breath extends into your belly and your upper back and your chest, allow your back body to melt onto the earth. Inhale your breath up and over your shoulders and down your arms to release your arms heavy. If you haven't done so already, allow your gaze to close down. You can even imagine that there's little weights on the outside corners of their eyelids, really pulling your eyelids down and closed. Relax through the muscles of your face, through your jaw. Let your tongue fall heavy away from the roof of your mouth. Relax the muscles of your neck. And I invite you to stay here as long as you'd like, to balance out all that movement with rest. Savasana is where we really reap the benefits, the energetic benefits of our yoga practice. So stay here. Allow your body to find that stillness. Give yourself permission to rest. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for sharing this practice with me today. Namaste.